Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. In today's video, we are going to talk through The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, published in 1997. But before we start, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so that you never miss any of our upcoming videos. Okay, let's get started. This book discusses the author's personal journey of spiritual awakening and the transformational power of living in the present moment. Tolle shares how he experienced a state of deep anxiety and depression until one night he had a profound realization that led to a shift in his consciousness. He describes feeling a deep loathing of the world and himself, but then realizing that there must be two aspects to his existence, the I and the self. This realization led him to let go of resistance and surrender to a void, experiencing a profound sense of peace and bliss. The author emphasizes the importance of living in the present moment and connecting with our true self beyond the mind and ego. By doing so, we can find inner peace and experience a greater sense of connection with others and the world around us. The author shares his journey of becoming a spiritual teacher and the essence of their work, which is conveyed in this book. He emphasizes that everyone already possesses what they seek, but their minds are too noisy to feel it. He aims to guide readers towards radical inner transformation and enlightenment, urging them to recognize the false self and embrace their true nature beyond name and form. The author explains that enlightenment is the end of suffering and a state of oneness with being. They caution against the misuse of the word God and recommend using the term being instead, which points to the transcendent reality beyond mental constructs. The greatest obstacle to experiencing this reality is identified as the identification with the mind and its compulsive thinking. Enlightenment is the end of suffering and the ceaseless thinking that enslaves us. Our identification with the mind creates a barrier between us and true connection with others, nature, and God. Thinking has become a disease, causing imbalance and separation. We must learn to disidentify from the mind and observe our thoughts without judgment. By doing so, we create gaps in our mental stream and cultivate a sense of presence and stillness. In this state, we experience a deeper consciousness, free from the incessant chatter of the mind. We can also access the realm of pure consciousness through meditation and focusing on the present moment. The goal is to rise above thought, using the mind as a tool rather than being controlled by it. In this heightened state of consciousness, true creativity and joy can flourish. The author explores the relationship between the mind, emotions, and consciousness. He emphasizes the importance of observing and understanding one's emotions, as they often reflect unconscious thought patterns. By focusing on the energy field within the body and being present in the moment, one can bring unconscious emotions into awareness. Tolle explains that positive emotions such as love and joy arise from a deeper level of interconnectedness with one's true nature, while emotions derived from the mind are subject to the law of opposites. He also discusses how resistance to the present moment creates unnecessary pain and suffering, and that being present can free one from the control of the egoic mind. Tolle explores the concept of time and its influence on our lives. He suggests that our minds tend to be fixated on the past and future, causing dysfunction and suffering. The accumulation of time in our minds leads to a burden of pain and unhappiness. The remedy is to focus on the present moment and accept it as it is. By observing the mind and breaking the identification with the pain body, we can experience true inner peace and liberation from suffering. The pain body is a negative energy field that resides within us and feeds on pain and negative emotions. When we become conscious of it and observe it without identifying with it, we can transmute its energy into consciousness. This process leads to healing and wholeness. The book also mentions the importance of being present with the pain body during challenging times, such as the menstrual cycle, as it offers an opportunity for transformation. Ultimately, the author emphasizes the power of presence and the role it plays in our spiritual growth and liberation from suffering. Fear is described as a psychological condition divorced from immediate danger, creating an anxiety gap between the present moment and the mind's projections into the future. The ego, fueled by fear of death and the need for self-preservation, constantly seeks external validation and attachments to fill a sense of lack or incompleteness. The identification with the mind and the illusions of time prevent individuals from accessing the present moment, which is the source of true peace and fulfillment. The writer emphasizes the importance of disidentifying from the mind and accessing the timeless realm of being to transcend suffering and find true spiritual enlightenment. He highlights the profound teachings of Zen and Sufism, emphasizing the importance of living in the present moment, suggesting that true transformation and inner growth can only be achieved by being completely present, allowing problems and suffering to dissolve in the absence of time. The author shares examples of Zen masters using questions to draw their students' attention to the present moment. He also discusses the concept of psychological time and how it leads to negativity and suffering. It encourages practicing present moment awareness and observing the mind's tendency to escape the now. By doing so, one can access the timeless dimension and experience a shift in consciousness. The ultimate goal is to break free from the mind's stronghold and live with a deep love and reverence for all of life, being present in the now as the key to freedom and happiness. Constantly dwelling on past mistakes or future worries prevents us from fully experiencing the present moment and leads to unhappiness. Problems are illusions created by the mind and can be overcome by focusing on the present and accepting what is. By letting go of the need for external validation and attachment to outcomes, one can find joy and fulfillment in the present moment. The book also discusses the transformative power of being fully present, stating that it is a radical shift in consciousness that can lead to profound personal growth and liberation from suffering. The author discusses the concept of ordinary unconsciousness and deep unconsciousness, which refers to the state of being identified with thoughts, emotions, reactions, desires, and aversions. In this state, people are disconnected from the present moment and unaware of their true being. This ordinary unconsciousness leads to a continuous low level of unease or discontent. He suggests that many people use various activities or substances as distractions to alleviate this unease, but these provide only temporary relief. Deep unconsciousness, on the other hand, occurs when the ego is threatened or in times of major challenges or conflicts. It intensifies the suffering and unhappiness experienced in ordinary unconsciousness. The author believes that the key to breaking free from this affliction is through conscious awareness and acceptance of the present moment, as well as releasing negativity and resistance. By doing so, individuals can experience true well-being and ultimately contribute to a more harmonious world. Tolle discusses the insanity and sickness of humans and the possibility of healing and redemption. He questions the idea of acceptance and suggests that true acceptance would transmute negative emotions completely. He also emphasizes the importance of being fully present in the here and now and not resisting the present moment. It highlights the destructive nature of waiting for the future and the need to appreciate and be grateful for the present. The importance of not getting caught up in past or future and focusing on the step taken in the present moment is emphasized. Ultimately, achieving outer goals and success in the world only truly matters when one has realized their inner purpose and journey. Outer success or riches do not necessarily lead to inner fulfillment, and that outer purposes are impermanent and ultimately fail to provide lasting happiness. Tolle's book emphasizes the need to be present in the current moment rather than dwelling on the past or future. It states that the past can only be resolved through present awareness and attention. It also touches upon the experience of presence in nature and the beauty that arises from being fully present. The chapter concludes by discussing the evolution of consciousness and the concept of the world as a divine game. Tolle explores the concept of individual life forms and their significance in the grand scheme of existence. He argues that the individual forms, such as humans, are temporary and ultimately insignificant when compared to the consciousness that animates them. The suffering and dysfunction experienced by humans is a result of their identification with their physical and psychological forms, known as the egoic mind. However, there is hope for liberation from this identification through the process of disidentifying with form and awakening to pure consciousness. The author also discusses the idea of Christ or presence as the true nature of every individual, emphasizing the importance of being rooted in one's body and accessing the realm of being. Overall, he encourages a shift in consciousness from the egoic mind to pure awareness. Identifying with the physical body is an illusion and suggests that true realization of one's being comes from connecting with the invisible inner body. Tolle highlights the collective insanity of the egoic mind and the widespread fear, despair, greed, and violence in humanity. He encourages observing the unconscious mind in order to recognize the root of insanity. The importance of inhabiting the body and feeling the life within it is emphasized as a pathway to inner peace and stillness. He also challenges the notion of body denial and escaping from the body, asserting that transformation comes through the body, not away from it. The practice of staying connected to the inner body is presented as a way to deepen one's consciousness and live in the present moment. To find freedom from fear and to navigate life's challenges, it is crucial to go within and focus on the inner energy field of the body. By doing so, you become still and present, withdrawing consciousness from the mind and tapping into a deeper level of intelligence. Just as a tree rooted in the earth or a building with a solid foundation can withstand storms and floods, being in conscious contact with the inner body provides stability and strength. Forgiveness is also key in this process, as it allows us to let go of grievances and reclaim our power from the mind. Additionally, practicing awareness of the inner body has physical benefits such as slowing down the aging process and strengthening the immune system. When we inhabit our bodies fully, we become less susceptible to the negative forces of others and experience improved well-being. Ultimately, this practice leads to a deeper understanding of oneness and the realization that love is the essence of all relationships. Chapter 7 of The Power of Now delves into the idea of accessing the unmanifested through various portals, primarily through going deeply into the body. The chapter provides a meditation exercise to help readers connect with their inner energy field and experience a sense of presence and beingness. The author emphasizes that accessing the unmanifested realm is liberating and frees individuals from identification with form and the external world. The unmanifested is described as the source of Kai, the life energy within the body. The chapter also explores other portals to the unmanifested, such as being intensely present in the now, creating gaps in thinking, surrendering to what is, and finding silence and space within. Ultimately, the goal is to stay connected with the unmanifested source, allowing love and the essence of oneness to flow through. The author explores the concept of space and its relationship to consciousness. He states that space does not have existence in itself, but it enables everything else to exist. By becoming aware of the space around us, we can also become aware of the space of no mind, of pure consciousness. Space and silence are interconnected, and by being aware of them, a shift in consciousness occurs. He also discusses the true nature of space and time, noting that they are ultimately illusory and contain a core of truth. Salvation is not elsewhere in time or place, but it is found in the present moment. Most relationships are flawed and dysfunctional unless one accesses the consciousness frequency of presence. In the book, the author discusses the interconnectedness of positive and negative aspects in romantic relationships. He argues that both sides are part of the same dysfunction, and that true love, which transcends the mind, is rare. The negative aspects, such as possessiveness and control, are usually easier to recognize in a partner than in oneself. On the positive side, being in love can bring intense feelings of satisfaction and wholeness. However, this intense attachment can also lead to jealousy and fear of loss. The author explains that addiction to another person is a way to escape feelings of fear and incompleteness that are inherent to the human condition. He suggests that true love is rooted in presence, acceptance, and disidentification from the ego. By intensifying presence and accepting one's partner as they are, a relationship can transform from addictive and ego-driven to enlightened and based on true love. In relationships, some people continue to stay together, even if they are in a dysfunctional and negative dynamic. They do this for various reasons, such as staying together for the sake of the children or their fear of being alone. However, every crisis in a relationship also presents an opportunity for growth and transformation. Instead of trying to escape from the challenges, it is better to accept and cooperate with them. Inner transformation cannot be forced upon oneself or others, but one can create a space for grace and love to enter. Relationships can serve as a spiritual practice, where you become aware of your own reactions and emotions and hold them with love and presence. Ultimately, relationships are here to make us conscious, not necessarily happy or fulfilled. The challenges in relationships can be seen as disguised opportunities for salvation and enlightenment. Women are naturally closer to enlightenment than men due to their ability to be in touch with their bodies and emotions. The divine essence has been traditionally represented as feminine, but it is important to move beyond concepts and images to realize the reality beyond them. Tolle discusses the qualities needed to go beyond the mind and reconnect with the deeper reality of being, emphasizing qualities closely related to the female principle, such as surrender, non-judgment, openness, and the capacity to hold all things in the loving embrace of knowing. He explains that while mind energy is rigid, the soft and yielding energy of being is more powerful. Men and women are both capable of accessing this energy, although many are still identified with the mind, hindering enlightenment and love from flowering. Tolle also explores the collective pain body, its impact on women, and the opportunity for enlightenment during menstruation. It encourages women to transmute the pain body and not derive identity from it. Additionally, it touches on the purpose of relationships, completion in being, and the impact of being gay on one's path to enlightenment. Finding inner peace and happiness through acceptance and living in the present moment. Having a fulfilling relationship with oneself is crucial before seeking a relationship with others, as seeking external validation only leads to unease and discontent. The author emphasizes the importance of accepting the present moment fully, without judgment or attachment to self-image. He also delves into the difference between happiness and inner peace, highlighting that inner peace is not dependent on external conditions. It encourages letting go of resistance, forgiving the present moment, and allowing life to unfold without creating unnecessary drama. Furthermore, he touches upon the cycles of life, the impermanence of all things, and the need for embracing the natural ebb and flow of energy and circumstances. The mind attaches itself to conditions and identifies with them, leading to temporary happiness or a sense of self. However, as everything in life is impermanent, these conditions will inevitably change or disappear, causing the mind to resist and cling to them. This resistance causes suffering and unhappiness. True fulfillment and joy cannot be found in external conditions, but rather within oneself. By letting go of resistance and accepting the present moment, one can experience peace and ease in life. Negativity is seen as a form of resistance and is considered unnatural. Tolle advises using negativity as a reminder to be present and offers techniques for letting go of negative reactions. He also emphasizes the importance of consciousness and being fully present in order to make meaningful changes in life. He emphasizes the importance of not seeking outside for peace but accepting the present moment as it is. True peace is achieved by fully accepting one's non-peace. The writer also discusses the two sides of compassion, empathy for suffering, and the recognition of the eternal, radiant life within individuals. He emphasizes the interconnectedness of all beings and the potential for a different order of reality when collective human consciousness transforms. True compassion and healing come from being present and emanating peace, which can transcend unconscious behavior and eliminate suffering at its source. Ultimately, Tolle suggests that who we are is more impactful than what we say or do. Surrendering to the present moment and accepting what is. He explains that surrender does not mean passively accepting unpleasant situations, but rather surrendering to the present moment without resistance or judgment. By surrendering, one can access a deeper level of consciousness and reconnect with one's true being. Surrender does not mean giving up or becoming lethargic, but rather taking action from a surrendered state of consciousness. It explains that true positive action arises from surrender and is more effective than actions driven by anger or frustration. Surrendering allows for a deep transformation in one's consciousness and brings about positive change in one's life and the world. By surrendering, one can tap into spiritual energy and create a different, more harmonious world. Surrender is a powerful practice that Jesus referred to in the Sermon on the Mount. It is the ability to let go of unconscious patterns of the mind and accept the present moment. Surrender is not about allowing others to manipulate or control us, but rather it is about non-resistance and inner non-reactivity. If a situation is unbearable, action can be taken to bring about change or remove oneself from the situation. Surrender is primarily focused on the inner aspect of our lives, but it also transforms our external conduct and relationships. In relationships, surrender involves dropping our defensive reactions and attachments to our views and opinions, allowing true communication to take place. Non-resistance can also be applied to violence and aggression, either by non-reacting or by responding from a place of conscious presence. Surrender can also be transformative in the face of illness and disaster, allowing us to find peace and enlightenment. Surrender and acceptance as a means to transcend suffering. Tolle emphasizes the importance of not resisting pain, but rather allowing it to be present and fully embracing it. By surrendering to the internal condition and being fully present in the moment, suffering can be transformed into peace. He also mentions that suffering is a result of unconsciousness and resistance, and that true choice and forgiveness can only be achieved through accessing the power of the present moment. He suggests that the past holds no power when one is fully present and surrendered to what is. The ultimate goal is to realize that one's true essence is untouched by any past experiences or actions. Thank you so much for watching this video. Your support means the world to us. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. We'll see you in the next video.